Okay, gentlemen, welcome back to our standard issue end of round troop tally video from east to west. We have tried to get on the same page, and for the most part, we've done pretty good. Some headaches, but all manageable. Anyway, let's see. Round 7 is about to begin, so before that happens, let's do it all. Forgive the speed talk. Washington, 1 AA gun, 3, 4, 5 infantry, 3 transports in 101, 1 fully loaded carrier with 2 fighters in 101. Brazil, 2 infantry. C-Zone 91, a British carrier with 2 fighters, 1 British transport, 1 American sub, 1, 2, 3, 4 American transports, 1 American destroyer. Morocco, 1 British infantry, 1 British tank. Gibraltar, 2 American artillery, 3, 4, 5 American infantry, 1 American AA gun, 92. There is an Italian destroyer. Tunisia, 1 French infantry. Alexandria, 1 French infantry. Egypt, 1 French infantry, 2 Anzac infantry, 1 British tank, 2 British infantry, 81, 1 transport, and 1 cruiser. Ethiopia belongs to the British. They also own all their original. Italian Somaliland is still Italian, but there's no money attached to it. Belgian Congo was recently attacked by the Italians, where there is 1 man and 1 Italian artillery. All this is still English territory. The French own that. They did not take Nigeria, nor the Gold Coast, nor French West Africa. Morocco is French-owned, and because it wasn't liberated, it's still French-owned. It doesn't go to the English, where they have a tank and a man. Algeria is French-owned. Tunisia is French-owned. Libya is French-owned. Tobruk is French-owned. Alexandria, however, is English. In Egypt, we just did that. My apologies. All right, now we're going to carve our way back. Malta, 1 man, 1 artillery, AA unit. In 95, there is a fully loaded carrier for Italy, 4 transports, 1 destroyer, 1 sub. In Rome, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry, 1 artillery, 4 AA guns. Northern Italy, 2 AA guns, 1 tank. Southern France, 1 Italian infantry, 1 Italian AA, 1 Italian fighter, 1 Italian strategic bomber, and the country itself is owned by Italy. In Normandy, there is nothing. In France, Paris, there's 1 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 German infantry. In Holland, this should be interesting. 3, 4 American infantry, 1 American artillery, 1 American tank, 3 American mechanized. The country is owned by America. There are 2 British artillery, 1 British mechanized, and I believe that's it. Western Germany, there is 3 AA guns, 1 infantry for Germany, 1 tank for Germany. In C-Zone 110, there are 2 French infantry aboard a British transport, of which there are 4. They also have a sub, 1, 2, 3, 4 destroyers. There are 2 American carriers holding 4 American fighters. There's 3, 4, 5 American transports. And there's also a battleship and a cruiser. In London proper, there are 5 British infantry, 3 AA guns, 3 fighters, and that would be it. In C-Zone 112, there is a German transport. German subs are 3, 2 destroyers, 3 carriers, all fully loaded with fighters except for 1. So there's a total of 5 fighters. There's also a cruiser and a battleship there. Moving on. Slovakia Hungary, there's 1 strategic bomber for Germany. Russia still has a sub in 115. These are the territory property owners. Archangel is still Russian, basically. Volgada is still Russian. Samara is still Russian. Tambov. Rostov has the last of the Russian forces, which is 3 artillery, 1 infantry, and 2 AA guns. There's nothing in Ukraine, that's Russian. There's nothing in Bessarabia, that's Russian, currently. Western Ukraine has two artillery, 1 infantry, 2 AA guns. Belarus has 2 tactical fighters. Smolensk has 2 tactical fighters. Moscow has 3 Russian tanks. Bryansk has 5 Russian tanks. Make them German tanks. Let's not be mistaken about that. Bryansk has 5 German tanks, 1 German infantry. Stalingrad is held by the Japanese, where there is 1 tank, but the factory has 5, 6, 7 in damage on it, I believe. Yes, it does. I'm convinced about that. Tunguska is still Russian. Ivinsky is still Russian. Yangtze, Yakut. Bryatar is where the territory owners change, and it's Japanese. Sakar has 2 infantry. Siberia is owned by Japan. Soviet Far East is owned by Japan, where they have 1 man. In Korea, there are 2 infantry, 2 artillery, 1 AA gun. Everything in China is owned by Japan. This, however, is questionable. Not sure about that. So I'm going to leave that blank. Sikang has 1 artillery. Sichuan has the entirety of the Chinese-based Japanese forces, of which the totals are 3 tactical bombers, 2 fighters, 2 strategic bombers. Yunnan is owned by UK Pacific. There's 1 infantry there. Hunan is where the Japanese have withdrawn to with their 5 infantry and 3 artillery. There are 2 Japanese forces in Guangxi, 1 tank, 1 mechanized, and 1 infantry in Kwangtung. Yunnan has 1 British infantry. The French Indo is owned by the Japanese. Siam has recently been taken by UK Pacific. That's the wrong flag, but that's all I have left. Anyway, make a point and note there. Shan State is owned by Pacific as well. They have 2 infantry there. In Burma, there are 3 AA guns, 4 artillery units, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry for British UK. In India, there are 2 tactical bombers, 2 fighters, 1 tank, 1 mechanized, and a factory with 5 damage on it. West India has a tank and 3 infantry. Persia has 2 fighters and a strategic bomber. Important to make that notation. Everything is owned by the UK in this area. Caucasus is still Russia. We've already done that. Let's see. Sumatra is UK Pacific. Not to be confused with that flag. I'm just using it because that's all I have. Java is owned by ANZAC. Borneo is owned by the United States currently. Prior to that, it was Japan's. Prior to that, it was UK Pacific's. However, the United States owns it. They have 1 infantry and 1 artillery there. There is a transport at sea in 43 and a sub as well. Celebes is owned by UK Pacific. In 37, there is a Anzac transport, a French destroyer. In Malaya, there are 2 Anzac fighters, 1 Anzac strategic bomber, 1 British UK infantry, 2 Anzac infantry. Philippines has 1 transport in C-Zone 35 and 1 American soldier in Philippines proper. I believe we've already done Kotong, but I'll do it just in case. 1 tank, 1 mechanized, 1 infantry. Guam, C-Zone 21 has 1 UK destroyer. 34 has Anzac destroyer. 34 has an Anzac destroyer. 46 has an Anzac destroyer. 49 has an Anzac destroyer. 54 has an Anzac destroyer. 62 has 2 newly placed Anzac destroyers, now depicted with Russian destroyers because they bought so many. 3 infantry in South Wales, 1 infantry, 2 AA guns, and 1 fighter in Queensland. In Dutch New Guinea, there is 1 UK infantry. Let's tackle this. Caroline Islands, there is 1 artillery. In addition to that, in C-Zone, God only knows, 33, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fully loaded carriers, each of which are holding 1 tactical bomber and 1 fighter. There are 3 battleships. Yep, 2 cruisers, 1, 2, 3 destroyers. He's got to have a transport. Yeah, transport there as well. So that's that. Moving up, Iwo Jima, 1 Japanese infantry. Oh, we all know this. It's an Anzac sub in Sea Zone 6. Korea has 2 artillery, 1 AA gun, and 2 Japanese infantry. Soviet Far East, 1 Sakar, 2 infantry. Mainland of Japan has 2 fighters, 1, 2 artillery units, 3 AA guns, 3 infantry. 16 has 2 American subs. 8 has an American cruiser, American carrier with a TAC and a fighter on it. 2 transports. On Aleutian Islands themselves, there is an artillery, a mechanized, and 2 infantry. There is 2 transports. Nothing in Western United States. Midway has a man and an artillery unit. AA gun. Wake Island has 1 destroyer. 26 has 1 carrier with a fighter, a tactical, 3 subs, 1 transport, 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, 1 Anzac destroyer. Actually, that might be an Anzac cruiser. Yes, that's an Anzac cruiser. On Hawaii proper, there's a Strat bomber and 2 infantry as well as a AA piece. Sea Zone 10 has a destroyer and nothing else. And yeah, that's it. I think we did okay. We still got that guy in New Zealand. Anyway, 3 infantry for Anzac in South Wales, 1 infantry in Queensland with a 2 AA and a fighter. I believe that's it for the totals. Gentlemen, please take a moment to check and get back to me on corrections that need be.